Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back from my post-market wrap-up for this lovely day. You knew I was going to say that, didn't you? And it is a lovely day. We're going to talk about that Tuesday, February 20th, 2018. All right, let's start off with this. A 1% loss for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. However, the S&P 500 finished down just over 0.5%. NASDAQ fractional. Walmart weighed on the Dow. It's that simple. Now, that doesn't mean that there's an all clear here or anything, because something, and I know you were paying attention to this, is going on here. And that is, again, the bond market. The bond market. It's the truth. So, when I did the video this morning, I explained to you that there was not too much going on in the bond market at that time. You know, when I do these videos, they're kind of snapshots in time. So, that progressed to a sell-off in the bond market, which caused yields to spike, started putting pressure on stocks. You see how this plays out? Very simple, again, very straightforward. However, what happened towards the end of the day? Well, hopefully, you are watching this right on my website. Just look down to the right and you'll see the chart of the bond market. You will see where it sold off and then where they started buying it back up. Okay, if you're not watching this on my website, that's fine. There's a link in the description of this video. Go have a look at that chart. That's what drove the action today. Now, there is the possibility that we are going to see cash here move back into the bond market, pushing yields lower. Now, you have to look at these kinds of things in perspective. In other words, the market is fluid. The market is constantly changing. The market is thinking this, then it's thinking that. The market is the collective consciousness of all of its participants. So in many ways, the market is kind of almost like a living thing. It's the truth. And living things can be confused as well. And I think there's a little bit of, well, what's going on here in the market? Bond market is sending mixed signals. Now, here's the issue. If we start to see cash move into the bond market, we may be looking at a bona fide safety play. Now, I can't tell you if that's what's occurring here. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But I'll be honest with you, I did not like the way stocks traded today. It seemed fine right out of the hole. Well, so what? It was down. Who cares? But the market was not able to keep from falling where it did. That's a concern, especially with the setup here going on in the bond market. I know you get that. It's so important. So what did I do? Look, Greg has no open trades. And I posted this all over my social networks and on my other video. I closed this trade today with a 33% gain. I was up a lot more than that. But okay, am I upset? No, absolutely not. It was a very successful trade. I am a happy guy. So, I am not holding any position here. I want to see what happens tomorrow, maybe even into the next day. We'll see. If I do take up a new position, I will let all of you know about it. If I do it before my first video in the morning, I will post it all over my social networks. So, you know, just follow along with me on at least Twitter, Google+, Facebook, LinkedIn. I put it all over all of those things. So if you like, you can follow along with me. It's that simple. The dollar here did get stronger, put a little pressure on metals. We'll see what happens here with the dollar. Again, I don't think it's going to gain in any meaningful way because of the things I went over earlier. Politically, that's it. Very simple. So look, that's pretty much what we need to do here, people, is we need to watch what's going on here in the bond market, and at the same time, let's watch what's happening in the stock market. If we start to see stocks sell off, let's say tomorrow, we see stocks sell off, and we see cash going into the bond market, that would mean we're seeing a safety play and we could be in for another drop. Okay, very simple. If we see stocks gaining here and the bond market stabilizing, well, stocks will move higher. We just need to follow a few little dynamics, put this together, and place our trades accordingly. It's that simple. Once again, this is not rocket science we're talking about here. Okay, with that said, I am going to let you all go, and we will reconvene right back here in the morning, and we're going to make a few decisions of how we're going to play this market. Now, again, either way, I don't care what happens in this market. I don't care. If the market does what I said, if we start to see a sell-off here with cash going into bonds, what is this guy going to do? I am going to be getting short SPY. I'm going to start trading this index almost exclusively. It's very simple that way. And if the opposite happens, we'll buy calls. We'll just see. There's nothing wrong with taking profits like I did today and reevaluating. Plain and simple. With that said, remember, we will reconvene right here in the morning. I'll see you then.